Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2018, and I will go ahead and announce that today is my 40th birthday, so I'm going to spend a little time this evening going over some of this information with you guys tonight. I wanted to show a couple updates to the website. Mari has busted her butt non-stop, day and night. We have these sidebars here that takes you directly to our Twitter, our YouTube, and then I wanted to show you how the links worked. Here, if you hover over the home page where the arrow is pointing down, you'll see a section for featured members. Click on that and it takes you to people that we've worked with, people that we are associated with, and that'll grow. This was just a beginning list of people, but there'll be more people in that list as we continue to work on the site. This one's probably working itself out. Am I pretty much right about that, Mari?
That's going away. Actually, I'm going to change that to all the peer review papers with an explanation of each one, and so you can see how they correlate with one another, how their time frames and timelines sort of really go together. So that page will be devoted to that. I have it as a draft right now. I just haven't published it on the site yet.
Also, the space weather section is, if you click on the space weather itself, it'll take you to our space weather page where we have instruments that we also display, but also this is the link for spaceweather.com right here below it. So basically what we've done is we put together some links of sites that we go to collect our information from, our real-time information. And the reason why we selected these sites, because we figure a lot of times some folks don't have time to sit down and listen to the videos or find the time to even get onto YouTube when they're easier for them to just get on their laptop and hop directly on these websites. So that's why this website has been put together for you guys, is for everyone to see the links that we're looking at. That way you can go look at the same information yourself. We've got a couple new links in here, the Watchers, Dr. Roy Spencer, and of course the USGS, a couple weather channels, Tropical Tidbits, Mike's weather page we recommend as well. Go support his channel as well. But I just wanted to give a quick update on how things are going on the website, maybe show everybody how to navigate through some of this stuff. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and check out our numbers right now. Looks like we're still hovering at 500 kilometers per second. Density still under 3. Looks like right now aurora action to the far southern part of about mid Canada right now. Looks like no sunspots. Now spaceweather.com is saying 0, and yet on this SDO image they are still labeling this 2696 here in the corner. And it does have today's date. So there is a little bit of conflicting information, as spaceweather.com will tell us this is the second day in a row without a sunspot, but SDO has reported this as a sunspot still. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. We did see a little spike today in proton flux, not quite a flare, but that action was actually happening as it was turning away from a direct Earth contact. Other than that, I've got some really cool footage to show you of the filament release here. Take a look here, down here in your 4 o'clock position, right about now. Huge release. Thankfully, nowhere directed at us whatsoever. So, all right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the TSI numbers. We wanted to start showing, actually go to the SDO first, Mari, and then we'll go to look at TSI numbers. Yeah. Looking at the corona right now, yesterday I reported that we were looking at some patchy coronal holes forming, and sure enough, these have become a lot more widespread and more frequent. I think I just said about 3 or 4 days ago that the sun looked like that the corona was recharging, and 3 to 4 days later, boom, we see the sun pretty much dimming out, and very weak corona, multiple areas of coronal holes developing. So what we're looking at right now, if this stands for tomorrow, we should see some very fast solar wind speeds actually coming from this particular coronal hole that's almost Earth facing. So keep an eye on that. We could possibly see a G1, a G2 geomagnetic storm from that as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the TSI data. This website here is where we go to get our information, the source. And then if you go to the 203 MB, which we have already downloaded for you, but that's the file. Now, what we're looking at is a bunch of numbers here. If you look to the very far left of the screen, you will see 2018 115. That is the date. Now, on the source, they are different than the NASA. NASA reports it at 1365. The source is at 1361.60 range. So, but to the very left is the date. And if you count 1, 2, 3 to the fourth column, you will see a 1360.73. That is the column that identifies the TSI. I know that's a lot to take in, but count over from the date, starting with the date, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth column, it starts with 1, 3, is going to be the column for your TSI reading.
I just highlighted it so you guys can see the column.
Thanks, Mari.
That the TSI is in.
Now, I've looked at this website for over a year, and earlier in 17, right after the solar action that we saw in September, October got a little low for a minute. We actually saw it dip down somewhere in the 1359 range for a very brief moment. It did spike up to 1361, but here in the last 2 months, I've watched it hover at 13.67 and 1360.70. And it kind of fluctuates between those three numbers. It doesn't go any higher than 1360.7 or 1360.6. But anyway, the TSI is a total solar radiance. This is part of what we watch in our research because the lower the total solar radiance,
Easy for you to say, Jake.
total solar radiance, the lower that gets, the less energy we receive from the sun, obviously, and the cooler our temperatures. Now that's before taking into factor the cloud coverage that we have with all the cosmic rays seeding the atmosphere with more cloud coverage. And so whatever TSI that we do get to this planet will be reflected back off of the cloud. So not only we're getting a double whammy here, we're getting lower TSI, and with more cloud coverage, less of the sun's energy is making it to the atmosphere. So we get a double header there, and there's where we're going to see the cooling. No matter how much trapped gases you may think we have in our atmosphere, we're getting hit 2 times at least for the cooling department versus the warming.
More than that, because you have the Milankovitch cycle as well.
Yeah, that's something to watch. Reading up a lot about that. 2024, June 2024 will actually be the peak of the alignment. And then that winter after June will be a very interesting one to watch. Now, we were doing some research about Milankovitch cycles, and it was the obliquity. Is that what it?
Obliquity.
Obliquity. Okay, I'm getting used to these words, but it's between 21 and 24, and according to what we read, neither is good. If you have a lower obliquity, then you're going to get a milder winter and a cooler summer. So basically, we're talking about areas of the world could possibly see a year without a summer. And then if we get high obliquity, say around closer to 24, well, now we're looking at a brutally cold winter and a brutally hot summer. So, when we went over this stuff the other night, there really isn't, it's pick which one do you want. And really either one, at this point, I could really care for either. So we're just going to have to learn how to deal with both of them because it's still the unknown. We still have to see what that level is when the time comes. Well, did you find anything that found out what obliquity numbers are and how they are predicted?
Oh, I don't have them with me right now. I have them written on my laptop. But, what I found interesting studying these different theories and cycles and all that, there's a lot of objections, like you can't, judge the climate on that one cycle and all that. And, there's different variables. And it is true. I think when people are researching climate change, there's so many different factors impacting our climate. You can't just pigeonhole one answer to be the cause and the sole reason of the change. You have to look, you got to totally zoom out and look at everything. And, stuff like planetary alignment, different things like that all come into play. You got TSI, everything, has a part to it. So, what I'm working on is just compiling that data and, coming up with a way to present it to everyone so they can see. I think these conclusion papers that we're showing, definitely, as you start reading through them and reading the dates that they're projecting, you'll see how it all comes together and why we stand so firmly in the global cooling department. Do you want me to change the page?
Yeah, let's go to the early. I want to show everybody real quick the Weather Channel. Now, the forecast for the winter time has not changed much. In fact, what has changed is that the winter they were calling for a below average winter here for the northeastern part of the United States. Actually, let's go ahead and get to that part. There's a video. Go ahead and play that video if you could. Just turn the sound off. That's all right. We'll just let the sound turn off, and I want to get to this. But what I'm getting at is that the forecast from earlier this year had February as a below average cold for the north and the northeast and the northwest. There it is. Just leave it on pause right there, actually. Just leave it right there for a second.
It says no, Jake. It says
it won't
no.
let
You're
me.
Going to watch this advert. That's what it says. It says you are going to watch that advert whether you like it or not.
So they did change the forecast. They extended out the spring now. Did you just accidentally...
No, I just figured instead of people watching that crap, they could just, here we go. There you go, Jake.
Hit play, please. Go ahead and get to the map that I wanted to show everybody here. Stay next to the pause.
Here you go. Just grab that, Jake.
All right, so they've got pretty much what we were expecting for February, and you can see the northern part of the country is the below average, and from Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Nebraska, Iowa, that area, you see it right there, northeast, below or near average temperatures for the winter. And then March comes in. This is where the change is. Look at the northwest, well below average. That's colder than below average, which the northeast will then get into a colder month than they were in February. So the Midwest, again, you stay at near below average. It looks like we have a spike in the Central Plains. And here's the interesting part is the spring forecast. Now, this could change a little bit, but this is consistent. The Northeast, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Indiana, this area of the country is going to stay cold or below average from now until May. And in the Northwest, it's going to be below average. So to me, we're going to see normal highs in the low 40s, high 30s come close to May, April and May. So they did change the spring outlook a little bit. We are seeing colder weather into the Northwest and much colder weather than they were predicting earlier in the Northwest as well. But pretty much here in the Northeast and the East Coast here and some of the Midwest, we're going to see a pretty normal winter weather. But also we will see our bouts of cold weather, which is what I'm getting ready to show you next. I want to go to the GFS here and show a quick overview of the precipitation we got coming through. This is current right now. And you see we're getting a lot of rain in this storm here in the Northeast. Not until New England won't you get the snow here. We'll get light snow in the western New York area. By Wednesday, it's all snow, but in the far parts of the New England, you're going to get walloped here. They're talking about 8 to 12 inches, and that storm moves out. And it's quiet through the middle of the week. It gets colder much of the East Coast, and then we get another quick thaw with the 1 to 3 that we had, as you see right there, a little bit more rain for us this time next week, and then it'll cool back off. Here we are, the 29th of January, and I think this is where we start to see this cold air trying to set into place here. There's another quick clipper system that we'll get on the 31st of January. It looks like it could drop about 3 to 5 inches here in the western New York area. Same throughout the Northeast. Now here's something interesting. The temperatures rise, so it starts off as snow, and on the 31st, it will turn into rain. And by the time February 1st, we finally start seeing our really first push from the north here. This is February 2nd. There's a projected snowstorm as well, right over the Ohio Valley into the Northeast that carries into the 2nd. It hangs around into the 3rd. That turns into a nasty looking storm there. So that's something to watch right now. That hasn't been showing up on earlier trends. But as we get to the 3rd of February, the 4th, we see that cold air pushing in further deep. And on the 5th, look at that. There's a nice big low pressure system coming in over the Great Lakes. Luckily, the worst of it stays in Canada. Look how tight those bars are, guys. That's very windy when you see the bars in nice and tight like that. So February 5th, that snow system's out. The cold air looks like it's sticking around. And according to this trend, another wave of precipitation in the form of snow. And I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but this is the same exact setup that we had back in December. If you take a look at the low pressure here, the last red line going across from northwest Canada all the way across the central of the country into the far south, that's the same setup we had when we were getting snowstorm after snowstorm coming across the Midwest into the Northeast. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if that matches up with the temperature trends. Right now we're in this little brief thawing period. Wednesday we get cold enough. Most of the country is back into the 20s and 30s before another quick strike of warm air. I mean, it's trying to thaw a little longer. There's a lot of Arctic air pushing down, trying to make its way through. Right now, the warm air seems to, or I should say the milder air, it's not really warm. We're talking 30s and 40s and low 50s much across the country if it's not below freezing. So it's not balmy by any means. And then we get further into January, there's another thaw that we were expecting. And then right at the end of the month where we see this storm that starts as snow on the 29th into the 30th, by the 31st, it warms up just enough for it to turn into rain. But look at how fast downhill we go after February 1st. Here comes that cold air, as predicted. And by the 5th, we see it making its way down. Oh my. So there is that cold blast of Arctic air that we have been predicting. Many people on Twitter, across the pond.
Weren't we laughing when we watched the Weather Channel earlier? And, you know, the one map is like, it's really, it's warmer than normal. It's going to be warmer than normal, you know, and then, you know, they don't show what's just ahead, like what's just around the corner.
Now, I'm not seeing the plunge. The GFS is being kind, I believe. But you do see the presence right here on the 6th, which everyone said between the 3rd and the 5th is when we'll see that really cold air. And here we go, Minnesota, Montana, you guys, Wisconsin, you guys are going to see that sub-zero, 27 below, 33 below. Once again, the Northeast is going to get cold, single digits and a little bit under zero. But yeah, we were watching a weather report, and they showed us the outlook from the 29th of January to the 4th of February and how it was above average. And they didn't show the 5th because look what's coming to the country here after the 5th. But looking at...
Ben said it's warm and fresh and happy and
yeah,
normal.
Yeah, pretty much. So we look at the future cast here, the 7th February, they still got that cold air hanging around here in the Northeast. Now that is actually predicted to stick around. This type of weather right here in the Northeast, in the Ohio Valley, Indiana, Virginia, Pennsylvania, we're going to be in this trend, according to other scientists and other meteorologists around the world. We're going to be in that trend for at least a month, is what I'm hearing on this. Let's take a quick look across the pond. I know we neglect these folks, and we have a lot of supporters and viewers from this part of the world.
Speaking of that, Starman's in. Say hi to
Oh, hello, David. Greetings. Hopefully everything is going well with you. Oh, you guys look like you're enjoying some lovely weather. Let's take a look here. This is at the end of the month as well, so let's go back And remember, guys, everything that fires off of the east coast of the United States, our brothers and sisters in the UK more than likely will get it tenfold. And let's take a look what they have rolling in right now in Europe. Some huge waves coming in on Spain, too. Lots of moisture, lots of precip moving in over the country. The 26th of January, we start to see that cold snow line. Italy, France, you guys are going to get pounded with more snow. I can't believe the snow, the pictures that we're seeing from severe weather Europe. Yeah. Amazing. So you guys kind of start off in January, you know, with a couple of storms. Looks like you get drenched further up north you go. And then closer towards the end of January, you guys get a little break from the moisture. Looks like mild temperatures are in place as well. Then it gets cold at the end of the month like it does for us. So I see not quite the exact same trend, but here on the 6th, the 7th of February, we do see a lot of snow moving in and a lot of blue and tight lines. So it's, you know, you guys have already had your bout with wind as it is right now. It looks like that trend is going to continue as well. I'll take a look at the temperatures overseas as well real quick. See if that trend is any different. But so far this year, the people that have called for these polar vortexes and these temperature anomalies have been pretty spot on about, you know, what areas of the world are going to see these temperatures and when and how big. And I'm really impressed that the reliability and a lot of these sources, Mari, I'm getting are people that I follow on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is a great resource for following the latest news on weather, that's for
sure. More people have the freedom to post really quick. Twitter makes it easy. I used to be nothing but a Facebook user, and you pretty much introduced me to social media of Twitter, and wow, how a lot more smooth, a lot quicker. It just seems to be able to put a quick post up. So here we got the cold, of course, the cold air in the mountains of the Alps, up in northern Italy and France, of course. But it looks like you guys are, you know, sitting around the same as we are now. They're in the Celsius, so we'll say the 4 and the 5s, as it would be probably in the mid-30s, lower 40s right now. But as we move towards the end of the month, you guys get a brief, not bad really for this time of year. And then things start to get a little bit cooler as we get into February, just like for us. Here's February 5th for you guys. You start seeing some really Arctic air move in as well. And so pretty similar trends right now for us and our brothers and sisters across the pond as far as that goes. We're going to get a little bit of a mild into January, a little cool down, a little quick, brief, mild again, and then it's going to get real cold again and probably stay that way for a while. So with that being said, Mari, I think you wanted to go over something real quick in the...
I just wanted to mention, let me see if I have a link up for it. What do we got here? Oh yeah, the volcano has been upgraded to alert level 4. A powerful eruption took place at the, is it Mayan or Mayan? You know, some of these pronunciations.
I think it's Mayan.
I don't know. Pardon me. Either way, in Philippines. There was a powerful eruption. It looks like a column of ash rose up to 7.6 kilometers. That's about 25,000 feet above sea level. And now they are saying, let's see, increased activity at the volcano forced our authorities to raise the alert from 3 to 4. And that's out of a scale from 1 to 5. So we're keeping an eye on that. Usually... for the latest updates, if I see an alert, I'll go out on Twitter and tweet it right away. So if you follow Twitter or Facebook with GSM, you'll get the news first on that. Other than that, it's if I have time to shoot a quick video up or do an update, I'll keep you updated right here on YouTube.
And for, you know, from level 3 to 4, that means that the eruption is imminent.
Hazardous eruption is imminent.
So it's the worst is a 5. 5 would probably be a fatality type event. 4 is probably, you know, you don't want to see that either. So,
Are they able to see this or?
Well,
I just want to make sure. Okay, they can see this.
Are you?
Yeah, that's me. I'm sorry. I'm in the chat. I told people in the chat that my phone died and I am posting as...
Okay.
I'm just using your account to post, Jake. So
I thought,
every girly thing I say in the chat
I'm looking at it like,
me,
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything about anyone being lovely.
No, it's not an imposter.
Good. I'm glad I'm not losing my mind.
Because that happens on YouTube. There's imposters out there. It's crazy. So... Well, that's all I got, Jake.
That's all we wanted to bring. Just a quick little hangout to say hello, bring some information out to you guys.
We got 5 interviews we're working on, so we're going to be busy. But you're in for a treat with these interviews.
We got
guys.
some really good
very
guests.
Excited about
very
all of them.
Educated people who are in the Global Cooling Research Department. And one guy that we are excited to have, actually all of our guests, everybody that we have coming up, we kicked it off with Radical Gardener. She was the first of the series that we had for as far as exclusive channels that we wanted to kind of highlight and talk to that person and kind of pick their brains about the Grand Solar Minimum. So we've got 5 more. Mari has worked very hard on setting these up, so we've got 5 more good interviews to come to release. Plus, we're going to continue writing the papers as well. We're not writing, but reading the conclusions and posting the links. Now, guys, everything that I went to tonight, as far as the link goes, just go to our website, grandsolarminimum.com. How do we get back to that page, baby? Oh, it's right here. I'm sorry.
Is it over here? Hiding?
Yeah, it's hiding. Go back to the front page if you don't mind.
Oh, the front page, yes.
But no, grandsolarminimum.com. And everything that we grab from our shows, our live updates, our videos. By the way, I want to also commend Mari. She works her butt off producing content. We both make videos. We both write content. But, just hands down, good job. Thank you very much. I feel like you make this channel unique in its sense that we produce our own content. We do our own videos. And we edit them and we put together, we do a collection of videos and pictures and we put it all together ourselves. So I'm proud of that you work so hard to make us, in my opinion, a little bit different from other channels out there. So thank you very much for your hard work, Mari.
Oh, Jake, thank you.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. Take a visit over to the website, thegrandsolarminimum.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share. We'll talk soon. Tell us this is the second day in a row without a sunspot, but SDO has reported this as a sunspot still, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. We did see a little spike today in proton flux, not quite a flare, but that action was actually happening as it was turning away from a direct Earth contact. Other than that, I've got some really cool footage to show you of the filament release here. Take a look here. Down here in your 4 o'clock position, right about now, huge release. Thankfully, nowhere directed at us whatsoever. So, all right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the TSI numbers. We wanted to start showing actually go to the SDO first, Mari, and then we'll go to look at TSI numbers. Yeah, it's Mike's weather page. We recommend as well. Go support his channel as well. But I just wanted to give a quick update on how things are going on the website, maybe show everybody how to navigate through some of this stuff. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and check out our numbers right now. Looks like we're still hovering at 500 kilometers per second. Density still under 3. Looks like right now, aurora action to the far southern part of about mid Canada right now. It looks like no sunspots. Now spaceweather.com is saying 0, and yet on this SDO image they are still labeling this 2696 here in the corner, and it does have today's date. So there is a little bit of conflicting information as spaceweather.com will tell that we are associated with, and that'll grow. This was just the beginning list of people. But there'll be more people in that list as we continue to work on the site. This one's probably working itself out. Am I pretty much right about that, Mari?
That's going away. Actually, I'm going to change that to all the peer review papers with an explanation of each one, and so you can see how they correlate with one another, how their time frames and timelines sort of really go together. So that page will be devoted to that. I have it as a draft right now. I just haven't published it on the site yet.
Also, the space weather section is, if you click on the space weather itself, it'll take you to our space weather page where we have instruments that we also display. But also, this is the link for spaceweather.com right here below it. So basically what we've done is we put together some links of sites that we go to collect our information from, our real-time information. And the reason why we selected these sites, because we figure a lot of times some folks don't have time to sit down and listen to the videos or find the time to even get onto YouTube when they're easier for them to just get on their laptop and hop directly on these websites. So that's why this website has been put together for you guys, is for everyone to see the links that we're looking at. That way you can go look at the same information yourself. We've got a couple new links in here, the Watchers, Dr. Roy Spencer, and of course the USGS, a couple weather channels, Tropical Tidbits. Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2018, and I will go ahead and announce that today is my 40th birthday, so I'm going to spend a little time this evening going over some of this information with you guys tonight. I wanted to show a couple updates to the website. Maria has busted her butt non-stop, day and night. We have these sidebars here that takes you directly to our Twitter, our YouTube, and then I wanted to show you how the links worked. Here, if you hover over the home page where the arrow is pointing down, you'll see a section for featured members. Click on that and it takes you to people that we've worked with,